Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news as we talk about Cunha to Manchester United and the backlash in relation to, is he too hot to handle? Is he too volatile? There's been some stories coming out today about arguments that he's been posting on Instagram with Wolves fans. Some United fans are saying we don't want to go anywhere near a player like this that gets involved in that sort of stuff. If he's arguing with Wolves fans because they're criticising him, imagine what he's going to do at Man United under the microscope. Also, Anthony, apparently very close to a move to Betis. Is that a good deal for Man United? And the Rashford critics are out again. Apparently he didn't play that well for Villa today. Luckhurst has been at it. Loads of people have been at it saying he actually isn't that good. Is this good or is it bad for Manchester United? We'll get into all that as well. I just want to say at the start of the show, I was on a That's Football stream at lunchtime for Man City against Palace. It's been a beautiful day here in the UK and I did say I was going out this afternoon to a beer garden. Let's just say the beer garden and I got on really well. Too well, some might say, and I'm basically two sheets to the wind. I'm not, ask me anything, I'll answer it. But look, the thing about me is I never go too far. I just get more loose-lipped. I just probably get a little bit too volatile, and I just say what I really, really think. And I say what I think anyway, but when I've had a few, I say what I really, really, really think. So, could be a good show. Hope you've all had a great day. I certainly have. But look, let's start on this Cunha story. I've got the stuff in front of me. If I didn't, I'd be in trouble. So basically, look, wild one. Cunha's a wild one. Maybe we should not buy him. Maybe he's not the right profile for Man United. Maybe he's too volatile. Maybe he's too mouthy. Maybe he'll get sent off all the time. Maybe he'll fall out with fans. Maybe he'll be arguing on Instagram. Good. I'd love to say you played shit and he has a go at me. At least he cares. But look, I don't even know the validity of this story. But basically, it goes back to, apparently, there was a Wolves fan account called Talking Wolves who posted a screenshot on social media claiming that Cunha had posted a picture on his Instagram story saying, "Time to be happy. I'll follow my dreams, not yours, so stay cool." He's already said he wants to leave Wolves. I mean, I saw this international break. He's already said he wants to leave Wolves. I don't get what Wolves fans' problem is. Well, I do, actually. I understand that if you support Lincoln Town, City, I don't know what you're called. Sorry, just offended Lincoln. Lincoln Town, Licking City. Is it really Licking City? Good name. I don't know what Lincoln are called. My point is, it doesn't matter. If you support Lincoln or you support Wolves or you support bloody Dover, unlucky. I support Man United. You know, I'm better than you. It's as simple as that. But no, I'm joking. But my point is, Cunha can come to us every day of the week and Tuesday. I don't really care about volatile because I'm old enough. I'm not a bloody chuff monster. I remember Cantona. Cantona was arguing with Leeds. He was getting sent off here, there and everywhere. Don't go near Cantona. He's too volatile. He's too aggressive. He's too arrogant. Blah, 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 blah. Comes to Man United and he is the spark that lights the fire. He's Bruce Springsteen. He literally is. You know, you can't start a fire without a spark. And I don't know whether people have forgotten about this, but we need warriors, like Minnie Brew says. We do. We absolutely do. We lack fire. We lack volatility. We lack that passion. And I don't give a shit if Cunha has had a bit of an argument with a referee or, you know, a player or is defending himself with Wolves fans. Don't, no. Woke, snowflake twats. Oh, don't come to Manchester United with your opinion, with your strong opinions and your passion. We just want bland. We just want grey. We just want somebody that just does what they're told. Yeah, we love that. That's all we want. We just want that. Bollocks. I want a bit of fight. I want a bit of passion. 4-match ban, high five. Well done. I loved it when Solskjaer chopped down that Newcastle player in a one-on-one for the team. I loved it. I loved it when Roy Keane got involved and, you know, did what he did. I loved it. I like a bit of fight. I like a bit of passion. I like it when Beckham kicked out in 98 on Simeone. I love it. Have it. Because you know what? They might get banned for 3 or 4 games, but they're committed. I mean, I don't even know what Wolves fans are moaning about. He signed a new contract in January so you can get a decent fee in the summer. I mean, look, you know, I don't want to make out you being a bit thick, but hello, it's bloody obvious to the rest of the footballing world what he did. He signed a new contract for 6 months to get you a good deal in the summer, and he kept you up. Oh, moan, moan, moan. See it for what it bloody well is. The whole world of football knows what he did. He signed a bloody contract with you to get you a good deal in the summer, and then he stayed to keep you up. Oh, moan at it. Moan at him, though. Moan at him, though. He's in his mid-20s, and he wants to go and play at a higher level. Oh, moan, moan, moan. You should be staying at Wolves. I guarantee he didn't have Wolves bloody bed sheets when he was a kid. He's just wants to leave in the summer, and he said that, and I don't get what the point is. And there might have been a bit of back and forth with the Wolves fans. I don't know, but ultimately in life you've got to know your place, and Wolves at the moment are miles away from where they need to be. And maybe next season Wolves will be Forest, and maybe if Wolves are in the top 4 they'll keep their next Cunha. But at the moment they've been in a relegation battle, and he wants to go somewhere else. And Wolves want him to go somewhere else, and they did a little bit of a deal, and he's going to go in this summer. And the fallout between the fans and the... Look, I understand Wolves fans. You don't want players to go. I didn't want Ronaldo to go to Real Madrid, but he wanted to go to Real Madrid. And I can't, you know, it's ultimately, I might be in love with a girl, never a man. It's just, there's nothing wrong with that, but never, not for me. I might be in love with a girl, right? I won't be, because I'm married. 20 years ago, I might be in love with a girl, right? And she might say, I mean, it's very unlikely, I prefer him, he's got better banter than you. What? Have you got something wrong with you? You need to go to the doctor's, love. What do you mean? He's got a better banter than me. You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. But it's your mistake, jog on. And that's what I'd do. You know, no second chances, off you go. And I understand it. I didn't want Ronaldo to leave Man United. I'm sort of feeling I might have lost my plot here. I didn't want Ronaldo to go to Manchester United, and maybe Wolves fans don't want Cunha to go either, but he wants to go. So have a bit of bloody pride. Have a bit of pride. Say it was good while it lasted, but now he doesn't want to be with you anymore. And you go and find something else. It's as simple as that. As for Manchester United, I respect Wolves fans, actually. I respect the fact that they, you know, the pride kicks in. Same with Liverpool and Trent. Pride kicks in. But don't be a beg. Don't start falling out with Cunha because he should be staying with you. He doesn't want to stay with you. Have a bit of pride. Go, we take the 60 million. He moves on. We move on as a football club. That's absolutely fine. But what I don't get, that was a movement, by the way. What I don't get is Man United fans saying we should swerve Cunha. We should swerve him. You know, he's obviously very, very volatile. He's obviously a bit mouthy. You know, we should move away from him. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you this for free. This is a guy that in a relegation team turned up. He turned up the heat. He got himself sent off. He delivered. He scored goals. He gave 100%. He knew he was going in the summer. He didn't turn the temperature down. Look at bloody De Bruyne today. Shit all season. Absolutely shit all season, De Bruyne. Oh, I'm leaving Man City. Turns up today like bloody prime De Bruyne. Man City fans are going, there's only one De Bruyne. I'm watching it going, yeah, Willian Mark II. I'm out of contract in the summer. Time to try a little bit more. I've played the game. I bloody played the game. I've seen it. De Bruyne's been shit all season. Oh, today, assists and attack. You know, one-man show. Bloody hell. Oh, but De Bruyne, he loves Man City, this, that, and the other. He's been absolute shite all season. He was bloody shit last week. Today, prime De Bruyne. I wonder why. Time to get the bag. Time to get the peas. Yeah, time to get the peas. So I think that when we're talking about Cunha, I can't believe that there's United fans going, ooh, we might want to swerve that one. Looks a little bit like trouble. Can you imagine those United fans in a bar, out tonight in a bar? Oh, avoid her. Look at her, beautiful, but looks like she's, looks like she likes a good time. No, I don't mean in that way. I mean like likes to dance, likes to grab the microphone. Yeah. Oh, too much trouble. Go for her, sat in the corner, nice and quiet. Yeah, drinking half a lager. No, doesn't want to make a noise about herself. Steady. No. Let's get on the dance floor and sing John Bon Jovi, Final Countdown. That's actually Europe. got the wrong song. But you know what? I don't know what's happened to our fan base. I really don't. Cantona, Keane, even Beckham, absolute passion, but personality. Where have all the cowboys gone? They're all dead. The reason for me that Cunha is my number one signing for the summer and has been for ages is because he's got a bit of that money. He has got money, but no, he's got a bit of that. He's got that rare thing in football: talent and passion, personality, a bit of edge, a bit of like, oh, what's he going to do next? Oh, you've looked at him the wrong way. Oh, you're in trouble. He's tombstoned you. I like this. There's genuinely United fans out there on social media tonight saying, ooh, Cunha arguing with Wolves fans. Let's steer clear of that. Let's not steer clear of that. Let's stop the car, open the door and say, where do you want to go? Because I want to go to the top. Do you want to come with me? Yes, I do. Let's go. I want it. Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm not. But look, I remember a team called Wimbledon that were basically in the Premier League because they used to fight everybody. They were physical. And when we used to go down to Selhurst Park, we'd mix it up. Cantona, Hughes, Bruce, Keane, Ince. Do you want some? Do you want some? We're Andy. Do you want some? You got no fans. You got no ground. Actually, that was actually true. I'm not even nicking that from the Wealdstone Raider. They didn't have a ground. They were ground sharing with Selhurst Park, so with Crystal Palace. Look, I think I can't see a bad thing about Cunha, apart from the fact I don't think we'll do the deal. But I don't mind the fact that he's arguing with fans. I don't mind the fact that he wants better for himself. Look, what I would like to see, this is where I'll leave it, right? And then we'll move on. If Cunha came to Man United and we were still shit when he's 27 and he went, you know what, I'm trying my heart out here every bloody single week. I'm putting 100% in. I'm getting goals. I'm getting assists, but we're still shit. The club doesn't match my ambition. I want to go to Real Madrid. Many of you, and probably me, would be offended by that. But actually, you know what? I'll stand up and go, well done. Well done. Well done for calling it out. You know what? You're not the problem, mate. You're putting a shift in every week. It's the bloody club that's the problem. I would love a player to step out and go, you know what? This club doesn't match my ambition, because you know what? It doesn't match mine either. Breaking news, slow sports news. Guess what? Sir Jim and Joel and all the other prats don't match my ambition. Oh, is that a new line? You know what? I'm not going anywhere though. But I don't blame a player. I mean, imagine if Bruno went, you know what? I want to leave because you don't match my ambition. I'd go, well done, fair play, mate. Well done. We can't leave because we're fans. You don't change your club, but you can. You're a footballer. You're not a Man United fan. You've got every right to say you don't match my passion. I bloody love that. I love it. Let me get into your comments. Todd says, Drunkbridge, this is going to be a cracking show. Hi, Mark. Let me ask you this. If we acquire 3 players over the season and style of play does not change, how long do you give Amrim? Constantine, I detect a negativity towards our manager. The style of play never changed with Ten Hag because he wasn't really given enough players. He basically needed 11. I don't think he got 11. Amrim probably needs 13. So I'll give him as long as it bloody takes because I don't think we're anywhere near his style of football, to be honest with you. Who's your favourite child of the 3? And why is it Seb, says Rimbic? No, absolutely not. Hello, Mark. I read somewhere about Onana's biography that he wanted to become a lawyer, but he was forced by his parents to become a footballer, says Sai. Well, thank God he was. I mean, you would not want to be going down for murder and then look to your left and Onana is defending you, would you? Bloody hell. Death penalty. Hold on a minute. They don't even do the death penalty here. Well, blame your lawyer. Gifted membership from Graham Robinson. Thank you very much for that. Imagine if Sir Alex avoided Cantona for volatility. Look, Shubham, Chuff Monster is a thing. We've even got a regular contributor called Chuff Monster. But the reality is, you're a Chuff Monster if you can't remember anything. That's just the way it works. I'm a Chuff Monster when it comes to Steve Coppell or Dennis Law or even Brian Robson to a certain extent. I'm a Chuff Monster. I can't remember it. Ricky could call me a Chuff Monster. That's fine. I wasn't there. But in relation to Cantona, we're talking 1991. We're talking 34 years ago. God, that makes me feel old. 34 years ago, you've basically, to remember Cantona, you've got to be, fucking hell, you've got to be at least 40, really. So I respect it. You can't, age is a number. What are you going to do? Blame your parents for not having you sooner. Might have been committing crimes if they did. So you can't help it. And I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Your time will come. But I remember Cantona, and honestly, time can enhance things. It can. In 30 years' time, you might be talking about the United stand like it was bloody amazing. It is. But the reality is, honestly, Man United, in my opinion, weren't going to win a league title. They weren't going to do it. If we hadn't bought Cantona, I don't think it was going to happen. I really don't. And whatever you think about Cantona now, remember footballers are for what they do on the pitch. We've got legends who were brilliant on the pitch, who are knobheads off the pitch. Fact. I'll give you the names. But Cantona, Man United, we don't do what we do if we don't make that signing. Sir Alex Ferguson was brilliant. Roy Keane was brilliant. Paul Ince was brilliant. Hughes was brilliant. Bruce was brilliant. The class of 92 were brilliant. But if we don't sign Cantona, I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. And people will go, he didn't even play in 99. But it doesn't matter. It's what he gave to the club. It was the spark and the arrogance and the belief that Cantona gave us to just go, right, this is where it happens. And those types of players, Bruno ain't Cantona. He never will be. He won't. He never will be. Van Nistelrooy was never Cantona. Van Persie was never Cantona. He was just something exceptionally unique. Very, very talented, very, very arrogant, very, very aggressive, and exactly what United need to go, we believe in ourselves. And trust me, those types of players, they might get red cards. They probably will get red cards. But what they'll do to that team is revolutionary. So we need more of these players. And they're very rare. They're very rare in the modern game. There was a lot more of them when I was growing up, but they're very rare now. Anana is not saving anything, says Stephen Roos. Mark, on cooking mode today. Bring on Newcastle, says Dunny. Thank you very much. Okay, so look, I've spoken about Cunha. I had my say on that. Where should we go next? Look, it's Saturday night. Trust me. Ask me anything, I'll answer it. It's absolutely fine. I want to talk about Rashford next. Oh, God. Get your raincoats on. It's going to rain. No, you know what? The funny thing about Rashford is that this community, the only community I care about, you know the truth. We spend so much time together. You know what I think. And I know what some of you think. I fell out with you lot last year on the Belfast thing. Like, probably the worst show I've ever done. I literally fell out with 99.9% of the chat who were telling me Rashford's a waste of space, he's been out on the piss. And I was like, no, absolutely not. He hasn't done it. You're all a bunch of twats. It was a bad show. We never deleted it. It's there to watch. I don't know what it was called, but it is there. I apologised. I was wrong. But I defended Rashford that night. And the funny thing is, apparently I hate Rashford. But I defended Rashford. At the start of this season, I said Rashford's going to cook. No, he didn't. All through last season, I said he's going to turn it round. No, he didn't. Rashford and Martial were my two favourite players for years. So whatever the knobheads say, that's the truth. I have defended him a lot. And I think even him and the people around him think I hate him. And, that's a fact. And they've listened to the shit as well. I don't. I never have. I've actually been quite defensive of him. I think he's a talented player. But listening to some of the stuff I've listened to today and some of the stuff after the PSG game, why are we talking about it on the United stand? Because I'm getting a little bit concerned. I've already spoken about the PSG game. He was basically in the graveyard shift up front with nothing going on. Today, he started again at 0-0 against Southampton. He was taken off and they've won the game 3-0. And those murmurings are starting again. He doesn't run around enough. He doesn't track back enough. Oh, actually, he's not doing that well. I think Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News has posted something out for likes and clicks again. Rashford's not actually done that good. How does that help us, by the way? You're a Manchester United journalist and you're tweeting negatively about a Man United player on loan at Aston Villa. I mean, do you want him back at Man United? Like, you're meant to be a Man United journalist. You make your living off Manchester United. Therefore, your job will be better and you will earn more money if Man United are better. Why are you making stuff up about Rashford, conveying him in a negative light so that everyone can go, yeah, he's fucking shit? I'm like, hold on a minute. This is, I'll be completely honest here. Our objective is for Rashford to do well at Villa, no matter what. No matter what you want, whether you want him back or you want him gone, we want him to do well. So why are United fans, journalists, grabbing hold of negativity and going, yeah, he's only got 3 goals in 14 games. He's not actually doing that well. It's all hype. He's been picked for England, 2 goals independent. He's done quite well at Villa. And he's got the fresh challenge he needs, right? Okay. Why is he being scrutinised on every bloody game? The reality is, at Man United, it's over. And it needs to be over. But at Aston Villa, he has shown that there is something there. There is a new beginning there. I don't get what business it is of us, as United fans, to start sticking our nose in. We need Rashford's. We need a sale in the summer. And I know Villa fans because I live in the centre of England and I know a lot of Villa fans and they are happy with him. They know at Aston Villa that you don't really get that many players that play world class week in, week out. They are happy with him. Yes, the last couple of games haven't been that great, but there are circumstances to that, and not everybody plays well every week. We need to take our fucking nose out of this. Take your nose out of it. He's not at Man United anymore. He's at Aston Villa. He's had a shit start to the season, and he's probably still playing catch up. And at Villa, they're doing okay. Take your fucking nose out and stay out of it and leave it to Aston Villa. It's got nothing to do with us, and what Aston Villa think and what Unai Emery thinks is the only thing that matters. It's got nothing to do with us, and we should take no satisfaction. I think Rennie Mullenstein was on about it the other day. Yeah, he just walks around or something like that. I don't know whether that's true or not, but stop scrutinising Marcus Rashford. Just leave him to it. He wanted a fresh challenge, and Amorim wanted him to go. Aston Villa, loan deal, let him get on with it and then see what happens in the summer. I don't get why people in our fan base and journalists in our fan base want to stick their nose in to downtrodden him, to say he's shit. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Ever since he's been at Villa, I and most of you have been going, I'm glad he's doing well. I think it's great that he's doing well because I want everybody to part ways in the summer and crack on with their careers. It's like Sancho. We had it with Sancho. Oh, he's fucking shit at Chelsea. Oh, yeah, he's coming back now. No, just let him crack on. They want Sancho, Rashford and Southgate, England United, says Keel. Cunha is a must for me. Cantona had a bad reputation, says Ray. Signing Osimhen would be like signing Cantona, says Bobby. And if Onana ruins this Europa League campaign like he did in the Champions League, I'll be forever Onana out, says Yelden. Thank you very much. If Rashford had gone abroad, the British press would not be bothered about him, says Jason. Look, I'll leave it at that. I think I've said my piece. I don't understand why people are sticking their nose in about Aston Villa's business. Unless it's the Birmingham Mail, it's got nothing to do with the Manchester Evening News. Keep your bloody gob shut. You've caused enough shit around this football club. Keep your mouth shut. Aston Villa fans are pretty happy with Rashford and Asensio and Malen. And out of the 3, I'd say Asensio's done the best, Rashford second, and Malen third. And they paid for Malen. The other 2 are on loan. So keep your bloody nose out of it. It's nothing to do with us. The reality is, we just need to be in a situation where he gets a move and we get a move. End of the story. It's as simple as that. Keep your questions coming in, by the way. Anyone who complains about us having to sell Rashford, a player I personally like, should be mad at Ineos for hiring a coach that didn't suit him to begin with, not blame fans who complained about his form, says Andre. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Rashford's never going to suit our system. if you want me to have an honest conversation with you, I've had it before. He's never, ever going to suit our system. He's never going to be a number 9, and the 2 number 10s have to have a very specific profile, and the 2 wide players a very specific profile. At 27, he's never going to do it. Marcus Rashford needs to play off the left wing as an attacker. That's what he needs to do. We don't play that way. So you're absolutely right. The minute we bought Amorim was probably the end of Rashford. So, yeah. And look, I've never said this before, I don't think. And I'll say it. I've never said it before. Personally, I think Rashford needs to leave Man United because he doesn't suit us. And I think Amorim thinks the same. But I also agree with people who say the minute Sir Jim Radcliffe walked in, he looked at that wage and went, no. Regardless of talent, regardless of shirt sales, I think it's a fair point. Like, he's on 350 grand a week. I think there's certain players where he walked in and went, no, we're not paying that. I don't care how good they are. I don't care what their potential is. I think Sancho, Casemiro and Rashford, it was a big, fat no. Get rid of them. And, I may or may not have heard that from within the club, but when you're sacking 50% of your workforce, you're not sat in the boardroom going, yeah, sack all these people, but keep Rashford. They're not doing that. They're looking to get rid of these people 100%. So, yeah, I think it's a great point by Andre. Look at the owners as well. Emery can't believe his luck he has him, says Robert McCormack. Trust me, Robert, you're absolutely spot on. I know Villa fans. I know quite a lot of Villa fans. With Rashford, their only concern was, is he going to play as badly as he did at United? And as soon as he came in and he was motivated, yeah, he's had some bad games. Yeah, he's had some good games, but they're very happy with him. They're very happy with him because for them, it's a good player that adds to their squad. And they've got Mallon, Ramsey, Rodgers, Asensio, Watkins, Bailey. I can't even think, they've got more. They've got loads of options, and that's what they're looking at. Cunha has 100% a must for me. Individually, 100%, says Kyle. Thank you very much. Honestly, I wouldn't care if Cunha went next season. We play way better without him, and he has an awful attitude, says Virus. That's from a Wolves fan. That's absolutely fine. But for us, I think he'd be bloody perfect. And I don't give a shit about the attitude. And that's absolutely fine. And, Wolves have done well without Cunha. But look, I might be wrong. But for me, I think it's the right deal. I want to get into some of your points. Obviously, I've had some quite strong opinions because I've been out all afternoon in the beer garden. But I just want to say that there is a story coming in tonight that Betis are close to doing a permanent deal for Anthony. I don't know the validity, which is my word of the night, of this source, but I can tell you where it's coming from. Uno momento, por favor. It's coming in from a guy with 18,000 followers on social media, and he hasn't even done a banner. Right, forget that. What a waste of time. Oh no, it's coming in from somewhere else. Estadio Deportivo with 133,000 followers. Betis are very close to reaching an agreement to keep Anthony. I would be absolutely stunned if Man United are deciding to do a permanent deal with Betis on the 12th of April. Like, he's doing really well at Betis. They won on Thursday night in the Conference League. Last time I checked, I think they played tomorrow. Well, they won't be playing today. Last time I checked, they were in, very close to the top 4. They could be looking at Champions League football. They're 6th at the moment. They play Villarreal tomorrow, who are 5th. Massive game for Betis. So, Anthony's been a big part of that. And if he was, good question there from Chris Edwards. Is it a loan or a sale? Come si, come sa. It doesn't matter. We've still got 6 weeks of this season left. He's got potentially a Conference League final. He's got potentially top 4 to play for. In 6 weeks' time, if he keeps doing what he's doing, that's more consistency. That's more performance. Why would you be doing a deal with Betis in April? Only idiots would do that. So, look, I do dispute it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Stupidity. We shouldn't be going anywhere near a permanent deal for Betis. Yeah, they did us a favour loaning him, but so what? You've got to be tough in business. It's as simple as that. If I lend somebody my car and then, someone else says, I'll give you a good price for it, and then the person who borrowed it says, I can't afford that, I'm like, oh, well, at least you enjoyed it while you did. Piss off. I'm selling it to them. If Atletico Madrid come in and offer us more money than Betis, thank you very much. Thank you, Betis. See you later. Yeah, so look, I don't think this adds anything to the Anthony story. There's a lot of interest in him. Let's not do a deal now. Let's be calm. Let's do what's best for us. Ross McGray Magician says, Eddie Howe ill. Will Newcastle be up for it? Yeah. Oh. Good point, Ross. Right, I want you lot to start throwing your questions in now because, it can be anything. Anything. Obviously, it helps if it's United related. But as you'll know from the first couple of topics of the show, I'll give it. I'll honestly give it. So let me know what you want to talk about. But Eddie Howe being ill, I'm not going to say anything bad about this. Don't worry. Bloody hell. Absolutely not. I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, I genuinely don't know what's wrong with Eddie Howe. He's a young lad, isn't he? He's 47. He's only a couple of years older than me. What's wrong with Eddie? I'm a bit worried. Admitted to hospital, but conscious and talking with his family. I mean, first and foremost, lovely guy. Don't know him. No, done a great job at Bournemouth, done a great job at Newcastle, and ultimately, we all disagree about football, but thoughts and prayers with him and his family and Newcastle Football Club. I mean, we're football fans at the end of the day. I don't know why people take it so seriously when it becomes about people's health. I guarantee if anything ever happens to me, there are complete and utter cretins on social media who will celebrate it because they're weird. They're absolutely weird. They don't know me. They just don't like football opinions. So, look, I hope he's all right. What they're saying is that he'll miss the match tomorrow. He's been told he will not be discharged until Sunday. It's an unspecified condition that kept him at home in bed during the latter part of last week. Undergoing tests, felt unwell for most of last week following the Leicester result. The previous Thursday, he'd undergone prolonged dental treatment and warned journalists attending the next day's weekly press conference that they may struggle to understand him. No ideas what that's all about. It could be like, if he's had dental treatment, it could be like infection. I don't know enough about infection, but it could be something like that. But yeah, if he's had dental treatment and, there could be secondary infection. I mean, I've had a couple of operations in March and you've got to be very careful about, secondary infection and stuff like that. So it might be something to do with that. Sepsis, stuff like that can be quite dangerous. So it might be something to do with that, to be fair. Reaction to medication. But look, he's in the right place and we are a community. We're a football community. We love football. We love Manchester United. And yeah, Eddie Howe's a good guy from what I've seen and we wish him all the best. Will it impact Newcastle tomorrow? I don't massively give a shit, to be honest. They need to win. We need to win on Thursday. And look, my priority and your priority is that Eddie Howe's okay. I couldn't give a shit about whether we get an advantage that he's not there or not. It'll be an interesting game. Obviously, I hope we win, but my main priority is Thursday. I've done the preview this afternoon, and I hope he makes a lot of changes. I said to you on yesterday, I said, look, we can all say we want to rotate the team, but do you want to rotate the team and back your decision? If we get beat tomorrow, I'm coming on the match reaction and going, where are you? Let's be fucking having you. Where are you? I don't want to see you moaning like a bitch. You said you want rotation. Rotation means risk. Risk means we might lose the game. It's all about Thursday. Stop being a bloody moaner. So I don't really care what the result is tomorrow if we rotate. I care about what the result is on Thursday. Constantine says, do you feel summer transfer window of 2024 was a good one? Did we close the gap between the top half of the league? Ooh, he's a feisty one, that Constantine, isn't he? He's a feisty one, but you'll soon learn some manners. Star Wars reference again. I thought that look, we never get time to analyse and study. I said to you this morning, we always talk about the class of 92 in 96 and how we had youth and experience. We should talk about the team that Rooney and Ronaldo were kids in and the experience that helped them. We spoke about Cantona earlier and the absolute spark he was, that if we didn't have that spark, we wouldn't have had the success. When we're talking about what you said there about the summer of 2024, you know, you could analyse and study that. I mean, I think that we finished 8th and won the FA Cup. We had a bad season that was rescued by a miraculous FA Cup. I mean, I don't know how we did it. We beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. We beat Man City in the final. I don't know how we managed to do that. If we hadn't done that, we weren't in Europe. And if we weren't in Europe, where would we be? So that was miraculous. Are we a better team this season than the team at the end of last season? No. Look at the league table. But I think we had a good summer. So what went wrong? How are we worse this season than this time last season? And yet we say we had a good summer transfer window. Answer it me. Because I think we did have a good summer transfer window. I think Mazraoui and De Ligt have been fantastic signings. I think Xerxy and Yoro and Agate are going to be good signings. And yet we've had a worse season. So what went wrong? Well, the manager got sacked. The manager got sacked. We've had to change system halfway through the season. That's been very disruptive. Amrim lost an incredible amount of games after Ten Hag came in. That was disruptive halfway through the season. That could be an excuse in itself. I also think that we've had a few players that just haven't delivered to the level you would have expected who were here last year again. We haven't had a striker. We didn't bring a striker in. Xerxy's not really a striker. So Rasmus has had to do it all on his own. So I think there's a multitude of reasons. But I do believe that last summer transfer window was good. I just think there's a hell of a lot of work that needs to be done. And as bad as last season was, it's got worse this year. Lewis Abraham, no. Would you replace Anana with Binder as the main goalkeeper? Thank you very much for your super chat. What, long term? No. No. Would I replace him for the rest of the season? Yes. With Binder? Yes. Would I replace him long term? No. I don't think Binder, from what I see, is a long-term solution. In the short term, yes. Yes. Anana needs to be investigated for match fixing, says Funky. We're trying to play systems last year. We are adapting because most matches we played counter-attacking almost every game, says Hans. If you're choosing, Mark, between a new midfield and a new keeper, who are you choosing, says Philip? There's nothing glamorous about signing a new goalkeeper, you know. There isn't. I've never been excited. I don't know what anybody else is like, and, you know, we're all personal in our opinions of football. But when Schmeichel left and we were replacing him, I wasn't excited. I wasn't. I was like, a goalkeeper for me is Mr. Reliable. They do their job. You appreciate and respect them. But I don't get excited about signing goalkeepers. I just don't. Maybe it's because they're a different breed. You know, they are very, very, very specialist. But, like, when Schmeichel left, I just didn't get excited or anything. I got concerned because I was like, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It can only be a drop-off. When Van der Sar left, I was like the same. I was like, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It can only be a drop-off. And when De Gea left, I was like, fucking hell, it can only be a drop-off. And it always is. So I don't really get excited about... well, midfield is my answer. I don't get excited about replacing a goalkeeper. I think you need a good one, but if you're saying I can spend 60 million on the midfield or 60 million on a goalkeeper, I'll always spend it on the outfield. But I do appreciate that it is an essential position, definitely. Louis Albaran. Sorry, I have been down a beer garden all afternoon. I think I've done pretty well over the last 42 minutes. Zayan says, if we... Look, I tell you what, you're an amazing community, but I don't think you're pushing me as hard as you can. I reckon there's really good questions here in this chat. Come on. You've got another 15 minutes. Push it. Test yourself. Give me a big question. Onana needs support. His confidence is shot, happens to keepers a lot. No big deal on getting with it, said the gaffer, says Nobby. Mate, come on. I think there's certain players in the team where you can go development, too young, confidence. This guy costs 50 million quid. I don't spend 50 million pounds on a goalkeeper and then when he's playing shit go, oh, you know what, mate? Your confidence is shot. It's fine. Bollocks. Experience. He's not 21. You know, he talks a good game. He tweets a good game. He's delivering a shit game. If we get Cunha, Frimpong, Osman, Costa, can we get top 4 next season, says Zayan. Well, you're not going to get all of those for a start, but I'll answer your question. No. I'd still have concerns. I think top 6, but I still think top 4 is very difficult to turn around in a season. The 2024 transfer window was great for our defence, but poor on the attack. Ten Hag and the club trusted Anthony, Rashford and Højlund. 2 of them already gone, says Andre. I like Xerxy. I was going to say it and I forgot, so I'll say it now. I like Xerxy, but the signing was bad for what we needed. Xerxy is a number 10. There's a few things that I back Ten Hag and I back Amorim. I like Xerxy. Xerxy in an Amorim system is fantastic. Xerxy in a Ten Hag system made no fucking sense. That signing was horrific. Nothing against Xerxy. I like Xerxy. But when you think about the Xerxy signing, it was a shit signing from Ten Hag and Wilcox and Ashworth and everybody else. And I'll tell you why. We played a 4-3-3. Back 4, midfield 3. Holding midfielder, number 8, number 10. Striker, 2 wide players. Where did Xerxy fit into that system? Xerxy was never going to get Bruno's role, so he was going to be the number 9. And as a number 9 in a Ten Hag system, he doesn't suit it. He's not a number 9. So that signing was strange. It made no fucking sense. It was almost like we had somebody else lined up, we didn't get it, and AC Milan were going to sign him, and we went, we're fucking desperate, here's a massive agent fee. It didn't make any sense. He makes sense now. He makes sense in an Amorim system where you're playing 2 number 10s, but it made no fucking sense in a Ten Hag system. It was a weird signing. And the only reason it's a good signing is because he suits the Amorim system. But if Ten Hag hadn't been sacked, where would Xerxy have fitted in? Maybe he would be the number 9, but you're not getting the best out of him at all. It's the same as the Mason Mount signing. Made no fucking sense. Mason Mount was bought a year before Xerxy. We had a midfield 3 of Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno. But Manu came through and we bought Mason Mount. Where the fuck was Mason Mount going to play? We spent £55 million on Mason Mount. Where the fucking hell was he going to play? He was never going to play him. He was never going to play in the Bruno role. And he's not a number 8. So why did we spend £55 million on Mason Mount? You know, when you analyse some of Ten Hag's signings, and I backed Ten Hag, you know I did. But some of the signings was strange. Don't get me started on De Gea. Let walk out the door for nothing with the Golden Glove. We're spending £50 million on a shitter replacement. But yeah, I think like some of the signings we made were just really weird. Were they just squad signings like Gaz says? But £55 million on a squad signing, weird. But going back to my point, last summer we needed a striker. The season before, Martial was injured the whole summer. We had no backup striker. That summer, he bought Xerxy, who isn't a striker. Like, one of Ten Hag's biggest mistakes is obviously the De Gea disaster. But for basically 2 years, his striker was a 20-year-old with no backup. That was criminal, really. Was Amorim the wrong manager for where the club is, says Keel? No, I think Amorim is the right manager for where we want to be. But is he the wrong manager for where we are? You might be right. But he's the right manager for where we want to be. But this team is in no way, shape or form set up for Arteta, Ancelotti, Slot, Klopp, Amorim, any top manager. It's just a very badly constructed team. The best scenario would have been that Ten Hag had stuttered through to the summer and then been replaced. unfortunately, look, I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe fucked up big time. He bottled sacking Ten Hag after the FA Cup, and I don't think Ten Hag should have been sacked after the FA Cup. I stand by that. He bottled sacking him after the FA Cup, and he pissed off all the fans who wanted him sacking. And then he sacked him as soon as he could in the new season, having given him 300 million quid. It's literally the worst thing you could do. If he'd sacked him after the FA Cup, he would have pissed off some of us, he would have pleased others. If he'd stuck with him for the whole season, he'd have pissed off some people, he would have pleased others. What he actually did is piss off everybody. I'm not sacking him now, I'm going to sack him at the start of the next season, having spent £300 million. It was stupid. Absolutely stupid. And what should have happened is, if you look at the West Ham game when he got the sack, we lost, or did we lose that game? I think we lost that game because of a stupid penalty. You know, Michael Oliver got Ten Hag the sack. If we hadn't lost that game, he wouldn't have got sacked. The best thing that could have happened is that we'd limped our way through to the end of the season and then sacked him for Amorim. But, you know, we didn't. We didn't. And we brought Ruben Amorim in halfway through a season to change a system that was never going to change, with a bunch of players that he wasn't going to get to change, and a transfer window that we're never going to sign any players in. You have to keep one, Rashford, Sancho or Anthony, says Garfield. Good question. Rashford represents the most money for the club. Anthony represents the least, unless I can sell him for about 40 or 50. And Sancho cannot be allowed to return. So it's Rashford or Anthony. Rashford represents pure profit. Anthony doesn't represent a lot of money. Anthony. It's very close, but I think Rashford represents pure profit, so it'd have to be Anthony. You know, that's a business decision as well. If everything's equal, I'll probably keep Rashford. Rob Always United says, if Amorim had come this summer, do you think he could have crafted up a top six side? Depends on the budget, really. But I think he did. The thing that always pisses me off, and Danny from the script said this in Dublin, and he's absolutely spot on. The thing that pisses me off about the appointment of Amorim is that we've absolutely destroyed his career in relation to his stats around wins. Like, we really have. Just at the start of his career at Man United, shit. Win ratio is shit. The scary thing about Onana is he's one of the most outwardly and deludedly confident people I've seen in a long time, says Nick P. Mate, those sort of people can be very dangerous. I remember going to, I'm not saying my daughter's dangerous, but I remember going to my daughter's school sports day when she was about 8. And I watched it with Mrs. Goldbridge, and she came third in the running race. And all the way home, she was like, are we going to the toy shop then to get my toy? And I was like, why? Well, because I won the race. And we looked at each other and went, you didn't. You came third. I won the race. And she was absolutely convinced. So much so that we actually had to stop and think, have we misread the race? She was convinced she'd won the race. She didn't bloody win the race, but she was convinced she'd won the race. Those types of people are really, I mean, it's all right if you're 8, but when you're 28, it's a worry. There are people out there that, as you say, are so confident and deluded about their own abilities. It is dangerous. We got Mount to play 2 number 10s like Arteta was, says Laro. Never going to work in the Premier League, though, was it, with us? Was Amorim the wrong manager for where the club is? Done that one. Would you rather get Cunha and Delap or Yildiz and Osman? Second, please, Davido. Yeah, I'd take Yildiz and Osman. How much failure will we tolerate, says Aman. Now, Aman, you've just dropped the best question of the night. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I was playing pool with the Q, which I do sometimes just to relax. And I was playing and I was thinking while I'm doing it, and I was thinking about Man United. And you know what came into my head? And I'll tell you now, this is God's honest truth. Think of it what you like. There is no level of failure that this fan base will not tolerate. No matter what Sir Jim or the Glazers do, and I shouldn't say this publicly, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how many people they sack, no matter how bad they behave, there will always be a queue for season tickets. No matter how many Man United fans go, I've had enough, I'm not going anymore, there'll still be a queue to take that season ticket. Now, some people might say that's great. It shows you how many people support Man United. It's actually bad because there's no jeopardy for these owners. No matter what happens, they will still sell shirts. They will still fill Old Trafford. We have got to a point now as a fan base where no matter what they do, we'll lap it up. That's my take. I just think we're past the point of no return. No matter what happens, we will always have a full stadium. No matter what happens, people will still buy the shirts. No matter what happens, they'll get away with it. And I think that's why the Glazers have done such an amazing job from a business point of view. And that's why Sir Jim Ratcliffe will make money. Because no matter what happens, we will not stop turning up, watching, buying, etc. And, you know, it's very frustrating to a lot of people. But that's the reality. Do you want me to lie? Do you want me to pretend? I think this is what the 58 are up against. This is what everybody's up against. Like, you know, they probably are going to build a stadium that's not a football stadium. It's an event stadium. And they probably could just say fuck off to the legacy fans and replace them. They could. If every legacy fan said, we're not turning up anymore, the soul of this football club's gone, they'd replace them like that with other fans straight away. So I think it's a good question, mate, because, you know, you ask how much failure will we tolerate? Individually, you might hit a point, but as a wider fan base, I don't think there is a level that won't be tolerated. When someone has a lot of love, passion for something, you need to listen more than you talk. The only thing Ruben asked was to start in the summer. Look at us now, says Louis. Utter woke nonsense, Mark Goldbridge says Keck. Ramsdale for 500k, says Keel. You've got a Ramsdale obsession, Keel. I'm just telling you now. Do you believe that United need to stick to an actual long-term rebuild like with the first years with Sir Alex, where we tough it out and allow a cohesive squad to be built before we expect big results, says Nino? I don't know how old you are, Nino, but that's not what happens with Sir Alex Ferguson. We didn't bring Sir Alex in 1986 and say, let's take 5 years to win the title. That's not what happened. We spent a shitload of money in the late 80s. Lots of money was spent in the late 80s, comparable to a lot of other clubs. So it wasn't like, you know, Mike Phelan, Neil Webb. I mean, I was a kid. I was a very young kid. I don't even remember the players, but we did spend... I remember buying Match magazine. It always sticks in my head. There used to be 2 magazines called Match and Shoot. And I remember buying Match magazine. And there was a little cartoon. And it was Sir Alex Ferguson. And there was this robot coming out the door. And it had a price tag of £2 million on it. And it was like, this is United's latest signing. And they were taking the piss out of the fact of how much money we were spending. So we spent a lot of money in the late 80s. There wasn't, it's a myth to think that United said, you've got 5 years long term. We spent money. It just wasn't work. That's why Sir Alex was like, get rid of him, Tarrah, Sir Alex and all that. Yeah, we spent a hell of a lot of money. Roy Keane was bought in 93, Richard, so that was a little bit later than that. But Paul Ince, West Ham, Neil Webb, Mike Phelan, you know, a little bit before my time, but we did spend a lot of money. Mullock in the Mirror says, Man United are ready to listen to offers for Casemiro and Arna Garnacho. Both are expected to interest from the Saudi Pro League. When we talk about that in the morning, that might be quite interesting. I hope Hoyland gets it right, says Dunny. Name our homegrown players next season, says Robert McCormack. Maguire, Shaw, Mount. Garnacho, if he's still here. Mainu. Yoro would be homegrown, I think, by the time he hits 21. Collier. I'm not sure Ahmad is. I'm not 100% sure on Ahmad. I mean, Delap, probably. The reality is you only need... You can have 17 foreign players. And and as many homegrown players as you like. So I don't really Heaven would be another one. I don't massively give a shit about the homegrown thing, because the only reason the homegrown thing is relevant is you can have a squad of 24, but only 17 can be foreign. So it's more about the 17 limit. You could have a squad of 19 and have 2 homegrown players. It's more about how many foreign players you have, really. You can't have more than 17. And actually, how many foreign players would you want to bloody keep anyway? So, yeah. Anyway, look, I'm going to go. But I think I've got through that quite well. I'm pretty pleased. The shows are brilliant at the moment. Really enjoying the conversation. Anthony says, if Amrim gets sacked, does this get worse? Yes. You're cuter when you're drunk, says Jody. Thank you. Cuhna and Osman would be a good summer, says Amrim Dreads. Good info, says Nino. Thank you very much. Look, you're all fantastic. I really enjoyed the show tonight. I can't wait for the match tomorrow. I'm a little bit stressed about the game on Thursday, I'll be honest with you. I'm trying not to think about it. Tomorrow is pure escapism. Hopefully we'll see a bit of rotation. And I'll be back for the morning show at 10 o'clock. I always like the Sunday morning show as well, because you always get a few different types of journalists talking. Have a great evening, day, whatever you're doing. Stay safe. Thank you very much for joining me live tonight. If you didn't watch live, hopefully there's a lot in there for you. CSRRRR says, my prediction is that we will lose out on Delap, lots of interest from other clubs, and Osman will miss out on his big move and come to United. Oh, I'll take that. I'll fucking take that. I'd love to miss out on Delap and get Osman. I bloody love it. I bloody love it. I'm going to go and have a bath and get excited about that. Speak to you later. Take care.